The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki.
Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Happy new week of shows. It's Tuesday where we are. Still I feel like it's a Monday Tuesday. Does anyone else feel that way?
Monday vibes.
Yeah, like some days we all just agree that you felt like you had a Monday yesterday. Today feels like Tuesday to you?
It's because it was April Fool's Day yesterday.
Oh, is that why? Dad? My dad is here. EJ Glaser's here in studio with me.
Hello.
Yeah, did you get fooled at all?
No, but I fooled Arlo. But, my grandma used to always say, the day after April Fool's has finally passed, and you're the biggest fool at last.
Okay.
Wow.
I love that.
More anecdotes that I don't know what to do with that.
Oh my
What does that even
history.
mean? It's not even that smart or interesting. I know
sorry.
it's just no, it's okay. But
It rhymes.
I
That's all
sometimes
that
don't know what to
matters.
do with stories that people have where they present them, and then I don't know if I'm supposed to be like, I love that, or like you told a story. Dad told a story about his grandmother while we were eating Easter brunch dinner, like a late dinner,
Okay.
early dinner. We're all like eating food, putting it in our mouths, and we're just commenting how good it is because my mom made a big salad, but my brother-in-law Matt's mom, we're over at his parents' house, right? My brother-in-law's parents. So it's like I've never even been there. They've been married for 10 plus years. It's just like you're playing on what's it called when you play? You're playing an away game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this field, right? And it's
Yeah.
different people. Like I know his parents, but it's just like, you're
That's
just on your
weird.
best behavior a little bit. But I guess my dad had an anecdote to share about his grandmother because he cannot let one pass by. I seriously predict them like dogs in an earthquake. I start barking. I can feel them coming. I predicted one this weekend that was so good that I heard someone say something and I go, and then I literally mouthed, my grandmother used to say, as you were saying, my grandmother used to say. It was really, it was brilliant.
So I've only got a few stories. That you're
No,
trying to
and then
tell me.
hold on, I'll get to what you said at dinner, but this weekend you also said a joke, or you said a song lyric or something, and I knew the joke. No, I knew the joke. What was the joke that I knew this weekend? And you go, how do you know that joke? Because it was a really obscure joke.
The
And I
one
go, because
about-
you've told me 1,000
The one
times.
about the guy who's, no, you didn't know that one. About the guy who's,
No, I didn't know that one. It was a different one, and I got the punchline, and you were like, God, you're just such a great comedic mind. And I'm like, no, I've heard you tell that 8 times. And you go, there's no way. And I'm like, I would never have figured out this old street joke otherwise. And but this, okay, so we're sitting at dinner, and we're eating, and we're like, God, this is so good. And what did you say? Just
no, well, I just mentioned, somebody said, what's the secret to it? And I said, my grandma used to always say when we'd ask her why something was so good, she used to say, I spit in it.
so but he kept saying it over.
I did not. I said it once.
No, it was said twice. And there was a final one that really everyone had a
No.
full mouth of food, and you were like, my grandma just said I would just spit in it, and we were all just like eating this like
That's hilarious.
salad.
It is good. And my grandma
You
was
should do
funny.
that to everybody. It's just
But it's not good at dinner, and I'm not a person that really
Hey, we
gets
know them.
grossed out.
We know that family better than you do. They know our
Well,
humor.
you don't know my aversions that, but I felt gross eating that salad after you said that. You didn't? Do you have that thing where if someone talks about
Yeah.
something gross while you're eating, you can't eat still?
A little bit.
I have it. I didn't think I would have it, and I used to always get really annoyed when people would quit me. I'm just making up new things. They would make me stop talking about gross things while we're eating. I'd just be like, grow
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But it's not even a thing you can really grow up from. It's not immaturity. It's actual okay, they're actually thinking about it.
And
Because
it shows
some
you that
people
you can change.
Yeah, I can change. Other people can't though.
You can grow.
I can turn into someone who can be yeah. Well, you can get weirder and more neurotic and worse, I guess is what
Yeah.
it is. I think it's cooler to be able to talk about gross things and eat.
I agree. It's fun.
I
Because
don't
I like
like when
talking about
people
gross
like
stuff.
shut you down. If you're like, yeah, I had
They
to go to the
quit ya?
doctor and they took blood and then I had to get a
Oh,
stool
yeah.
sample and they're like, can you not? We're eating. I
Yes.
just don't
Can
like
you
those
not?
people.
It's
Can
shame.
you just stop with
It's
the
shame.
food talk?
Oh God,
I'm
we don't
eating
want to hear that.
linguine.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you vibe.
Yeah.
Even though I just did that to Dad. What's wrong with you for bringing that up?
Yeah.
It was just funny.
It's fun
I'd
to
rather
do.
be
It's
like
fun to do.
grandma and say, well, I spit in your food, so now what?
Yeah.
If they do that to me. I'd go up to people at the gas station and be like, I spit in your drink. And just tell them that. Even though there's no way I could have. I think that's a great prank.
April Fools.
Yeah, April
get
Fools, I
shot.
spit in your drink before you drank that.
Did
Is
it-
anyone else? Oh, sorry.
Anybody else get April Fooled at all? Brian?
No, Trump tried to do an April Fool where he sent an email to all of his followers saying that he's suspending his campaign. That's
Really?
pretty funny. Yeah,
Did he
really?
really?
yeah, he did.
God, he had actually had a sense of humor for a minute.
Yeah,
He's-
and then at the
he's so-
bottom of it, it said, "I will never surrender." Just kidding. I'm never
I
surrendering.
don't think he's
What are
ever
you doing on
kidded
that
in his
list?
life. Oh yeah,
No,
what
just-
are you doing on that list? Or I guess
Oh,
it was
you
just
know,
news.
I just donate a couple of dollars here and there.
$1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Um,
We
my
got-
oil
we got-
company does it for tax reasons. So the oil company I own.
Did
we
you get
got
pranked? Huh.
Oh,
A couple of us got pranked on Girls Chat by Kirsten's mom.
Oh yeah, that was not. God, that was a little too much. Kirsten's mom sent her a text that was like, "We're over at your house, and there's a squirrel loose in the house. The Corey's
Oh
not
my
home. The
God.
dogs are freaking out." And then she just let it sit. She like forgot to relieve the prank, and then Kirsten sent us
Oh,
that
yeah.
text. And I'm in the middle of talking about something mundane, and I'm like, "Oh no, Kirsten's house is being destroyed right now. I can't really finish this paragraph that I was in the middle of being like, do you guys think my hair would look like cooler if I got maybe some like?" So the girls' chat is oftentimes you have to like really read the room first, and that's why we've instated a thing because sometimes you want to go on and just dump what's going on in your life, and you don't have time to catch up on the 97 messages that have accrued within 3 hours that morning. So, and that's not even
Like
a
30
fake
minutes.
number. It's literally how quickly it happens. And so you just want to put in your thing. So we instated a rule where you just say, this is a drive-by. And that means that you have not had time to catch up. You're just dumping something. So we are not, if someone's grandma died and you're talking about how you don't have any clothes
You get
to
forgiven
wear,
for a
you get
drive-by.
forgiven for being out of context.
So
it's
what is
drive-by.
Kirsten's mom doing on Girls Talk?
She's not. She just sent the text message that her mom sent her. And then she
Oh,
didn't
okay.
tell us that it was April Fool's. So
Okay.
we're all like, I hope your home's okay. A
I know, I was
squirrel
like,
got
oh, no,
loose.
poor girlie.
I know, her
dogs must
dog.
be so stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
we were
scary.
all I got by that pretty good. I don't like
Me too.
April Fools. I don't like pranks. I don't like we've talked about it before, but your brain is malleable to trauma. So trauma can be when you think something horrible has happened or you think something out of character for someone has happened. So when you see something crazy happen, your brain goes through an event
Mhm.
and then any amount of just kidding, oh my God, it was a joke is not going to repair what the synapses that just fired to make something new in your
No,
brain
it's
that will
cruel.
haunt you the rest of your life.
Mhm.
You know,
It's not good.
a good April Fool's. I was starting a company in Denver, Colorado, long ago, and we were selling advertising, and we were struggling. And a major sponsor ad was like $400. It was a big deal if you sold one. So I went out to lunch, and some of the sales reps put a sale in this bin that was a Chinese restaurant that bought the major sponsor ad for Boulder, Colorado, and it was our first map. First thing we had done. And so I was like, "Look at this! We sold a major sponsor ad." So I went up and handed the rep a $50 bill and said, "You get $50." But I looked at the name on the owner of the restaurant was named We Fu You.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Oh.
Classic
but the rep-
racist
the
Chinese
guy
joke
felt really
of the
bad.
1970s.
Sorry for that.
Oh no. It that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm
That
trying
was
to
good.
think of times I've been really
Joke's
got.
on you because We Fu You went on to found Amway Global, and now he's a billionaire.
Well, I got at the Mark Twain Prize. You'll have to see it live on Netflix
Oh, you got
when it
fooled?
airs. Yeah, we got fooled. We got really
damn.
had. It was really funny.
Really?
It
So
wasn't
it'll be
Kevin
on the
Hart,
show?
actually.
Yeah. We were. What did you say?
It wasn't actually Kevin Hart.
Yeah. It was. I can't think of someone else who looks like him.
Yeah.
No.
Gary Coleman. No.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's good. He's a short black man. No, it was good, and we all got tricked. It's just so embarrassing to get tricked because the worst ones is when you get excited and then you get sad, like
Right.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the guy
Oh,
felt.
that's
Because then
cruel.
the trauma comes after. Of
If
like,
someone
okay, I'm
tells
not
you
going to trust
something,
anymore.
Like if someone told you you got something and then they say actually you didn't, like that would be just cruel. Is that a prank even?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's just
recently
cruelty.
lost out on something. I'm not going to talk about it yet, but I thought I was doing something really, really amazing, and then it got taken away, and I don't give a shit. I don't think I've told you it's not happening. I already told
Yeah,
you.
you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't care at all because
Wow.
even though it was the biggest thing I may have done in my whole life, career-wise, it's like it's just not time. Or like the times I've missed out on meeting Taylor Swift. I thought I was going to meet Taylor Swift, or I thought I was going to meet Travis Kelce, or I thought if you want to hear that story, you got to listen to the Diamond Players special Intrusive Thoughts episode that's behind a paywall, $5 a month if you want to become a Big Money Players Diamond member.
Some real goss about Bosch on this week's episode. This month's
Guys,
episode.
don't give it all away.
Well, we keep it there.
Another
We do
reason
keep
why-
it there. If you listen to Intrusive Thoughts, you know the rules. You keep it there. You don't talk about it on the message board. You
Yeah.
don't talk about it to other Nikki Glaser podcast fans unless they are like in the secret of silence. Yeah, you don't share it publicly. It's like our one place where we can really spit fire.
Really? So there's another.
Is a paywall. It's like 20-minute podcast extra once a month where you get
Another reason
all the dirt on
why
Bosch.
this particular takeaway doesn't hurt as much, I think, is because it's not all on you. Like
Yeah.
the other people that were involved here are great and are big deals. So
Yeah.
it's like
Even
it's
if
not
it
just
did
you.
fall on me. Okay, yes, that is true. That softens the blow when it's like
It's
a
true.
collective team failure, I
It's true.
guess, or whatever it is. Like it's
Everybody feels shitty.
yeah, but like also, even if it was me, I like don't care because it doesn't. It's okay. I don't need everything this business has to offer. I think there are some people that are like, I need to make tens of millions of dollars and I've got to play arenas and stadiums and I have to have my own show like this or have this many followers. I don't know why I don't care about that right now, but I do care about some stuff and I don't know what the difference is.
You do care about podcast listeners.
Yeah, but I don't look at the numbers at all. If you know, you might not know this about me, but I don't know how many people listen to the show. It's not that I don't care. I love all my listeners, but in my mind, I don't even have a number. So if you told me a number, it wouldn't even disappoint me. It would only disappoint me, to be honest with you, because in my mind, the number could be infinitesimal. So I don't like to know numbers. In fact, my dad comes to my shows a lot, and we'll be in the green room beforehand. And he'll be like, so how many tickets did you sell tonight? Which is a normal question to ask.
No. When it's sold out, I say, so how big is this theater?
No. This happened one time.
Did it?
Yes. You go, because first of
No, I
all,
never
you know
asked,
your daughter, and I don't sell poorly. You weren't stepping into a trap
Right.
of me being like, I didn't sell any tickets, but you did ask. And I was like, I don't want to know. I don't know until I walk out there because I can't do anything about it. I mean, I guess I could. They asked me to send a video to promote my April shows. They being the promoter
Venue?
company. Yeah,
Oh.
the promoter
Okay.
who does like covers a bunch of shows. And they asked me to like, hey, will you make a video to tell more people about April shows?
Yeah.
And this came through on Thursday, and I had this weekend off, which means no hair and makeup. Like I'm not looking pretty at all this weekend for any reason. And I just don't feel like it. I don't know how to make. Hey guys, in April, I'm gonna be in. I can't even think of the names right now. Temecula, California, and then I'm gonna be in not Portchester. I'm gonna be in New York.
You're gonna be in Huntington.
Yeah, Huntington, New York.
Yeah.
Where else am I gonna be?
You're gonna
Gary,
be in
Indiana. Oh, wait,
Gary,
that's
no, that was
you
last
were
week.
just there.
Yeah. St. Louis, Missouri,
Waukegan.
April 27th. Waukegan,
Yeah.
Illinois. It's hard for me to, because when I watch other comedians do them, I kind of go like, oof, how are you going to make this creative? Because it's so it's just hard to make that fun.
It's people like it. They want to know. So don't feel
I
like
did
you're
read a good thing about how someone said, if you're having trouble promoting yourself, imagine you work for an ad agency and you just got your name in front of you and you like pretend you're someone else.
Oh yeah. That always works.
Good.
It works for everything.
Yeah, it really does. If you just do someone else's homework, I used to do with my sisters. This weekend, Anya and I got on the phone and I came up with a marketing scheme for her next album. And because she was like totally stuck in being like, I don't even know what to do. And just having those like doubts that you have about yourself. And then I just said a couple things and she was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And I was like, why can't I do this for myself? And then I did. I came up with an idea, but I haven't gotten the video edited yet. I gave it to someone. I had my parents do a review of my show that they saw in Cincinnati to promote. I think that's a good idea to be like, hey, here's what you're going to get from a Nikki Glaser Good Girl Tour, final stages of the Good Girl Tour performance. And my dad said, I said, what was your favorite part of the show? And my dad said, just, having my daughter walk out on stage, seeing my daughter walk out on stage. And I go, okay, well, can you make it an experience that anyone else who isn't my father?
Well, you didn't tell me what it was for.
I know, no. You just walked in after going to the bathroom. I was already interviewing
That would
mom.
be great if you gave that to people during your shows. You can let
Where
your
they just-
daughter walk on stage.
I should allow that for an extra $50. You can have your daughter come in before the show starts, and we can intro her with her favorite song.
Well, I just didn't.
That would be
want to.
way more than $50.
I didn't want to
At a
say my
big
favorite
theater?
part was my favorite part was Brian opening. I didn't want to say that.
That would have been funny. That would have been good. Yeah, it was. So I gave them that video, but then I realized like you gotta be in it to get people's eyes.
Rather than just put up a poster with you.
Like
on
if they see just two older people, no offense, in a poorly
Right.
lit kitchen, no one's gonna be like, "What's this?" Like, because it's muted for them, right? Like they don't even know the context of it. So I'll have to have some kind of like image first
It's
or
easy.
something.
It's easy. You show you. You go, I'm going to ask my parents, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And you even have it in the
Yeah.
title, point of view. You ask your parents about your show or whatever in the title. That's on
Yeah.
the screen.
And
then
at
you
this
just
point,
flip it.
people
You-
want to see your parents.
They
got
do, but they
fans.
just have to know it's my parents before. Like they can't. If you just saw them and you're not familiar with my parents, if you know my parents, you'd absolutely stop on the video because they're fucking gold in terms of comedy. But if you don't know them, you just be like, you need shiny things. Even I need shiny things. That's why I don't like to be on camera with no makeup and just like a sad gray sweatshirt on. It just that is not going to catch the eye. That's why I always used to like Andrew used to promote his shows or do his cameos like in a dark room, and I'm like, it's fine because you get the job done, but like it does have to be visually interesting. There is a part
Yeah.
like good lighting is essential for good
and fast.
and fast.
Quick moving. Not really
Yeah.
fast, but
Fast
swift.
cuts.
Yeah.
Swift.
People are
Taylor
scrolling.
Swift. Put
It's
her
gotta
in it and it'll get
Taylor
views.
Swift, then you're really
Literally
crushing it.
anything with her in it shows up on
Yeah.
my feed. And people
Well,
send
yeah,
me
that-
stuff all the time.
Well, that's your feed. My feed, I don't get any Taylor Swift things.
Do you not?
Not
Do you
a
get
single
Sydney
thing.
Sweeney's gigantic tits? I get those
I wish.
constantly.
I
Oh,
don't.
you
Not
can
enough.
teach the algorithm very quickly. They learn that you are fascinated by her boobs. In fact, I have so
Let's
many.
see.
I've been watching Sydney Sweeney so much and her big boobs, but it's not
Yeah.
even I'm watching her boobs. I just like her face and like how she talks. Like I'm trying to work on an impression of her. That was horrible, but I am gonna nail it at some point. But the algorithm thinks I have big boobs because it sent me a targeted ad for
big
bras.
bras.
That are triple D through like quadruple F, and they're like for you, girl. And
That's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
it's targeted ads are so fascinating.
What we should do when we get back from break is go into your Instagram, open it up, and then click on the search and see what's being suggested to you right now.
Let's go
It
through
can-
our
It can be
suggestion page.
embarrassing. It can be
Oh,
embarrassing. Like you don't.
I've-
Sometimes you don't want your boyfriend or girlfriend to be looking at over your shoulder.
Dude, I read about it
Yeah.
on Reddit last night. There was a girl that was like, "Hey, I saw my boyfriend's explore page, and it was
Oh, boy.
all 14-year-old looking girls." And
Yeah.
then I was like, "Okay, he's busted. Like, he's definitely looking at that stuff because otherwise it wouldn't show up." And then everyone in the subreddit was like, "No, they just send me stuff sometimes, and I don't even look at that." I'm like,
Oh,
"No,
right.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
my
right.
explore page kind of freaking nails it."
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at it when we come back from break, right after this. Okay, we're back. I'm pulling up my explore page. You have to do it too, Brian.
What is the Explorer
I'm doing
page?
it. The
That's
truth
like where
is,
you press on the little magnifying glass right here,
Uh-huh.
and it has all like different videos that you would like.
Is that on Reddit you're talking about or on Instagram?
It's on Instagram.
Okay.
Okay, so my first one is a man in his car, and it's like a therapy video, and the title is "How to Stop Oversharing." So nailed
Uh-huh.
it. And then there's okay, so let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 boxes I can see. How many of those boxes, and 13 by the way, Taylor Swift. How many do you think are Taylor Swift out of those 13?
10.
At least.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5.
Wow.
I have
Five,
2.
wow.
I have 2 Taylors.
Oh my God. Yes. Dad?
Explorer page.
Yeah. You press on the little magnifying
I
glass at
see
the bottom.
Paul McCartney,
Okay, he's your Taylor.
and I see Christopher Hitchens,
Okay, he's another Taylor
and
for you.
Richard Dawkins.
Yep. Okay, you're
And-
like coming out of this pretty well.
Richard
Any
Dawkins, nice.
any sexy material?
I don't have my glasses on right now.
Can I see?
Here you
Any sexy material? Is that what you just said?
I want to see like if there's any like. Oh no, it's like Paul McCartney.
Mhm.
Okay, there's
Goldie
one
Hawn.
girl that's kind of like hot, but it's like a prank show or something. Billy Crystal, Paul McCartney. You have 3 Paul McCartneys. You have a George Harrison. You have a
Wow.
Ricky Gervais.
It's all Beatles.
You have a Jerry Garcia, and you have a Bill Hader, and you have a Eckhart Tolle,
Who's that?
Wow.
the Power of Now guy.
Who talks like this, and I don't like his voice, and I can't listen to anything he says because he sounds like he has the biggest bubble in his mouth.
Literally, Eckhart Tolle holds the key to my happiness in his brain, and I cannot get through any of the books because they are too
Mhm.
the wording is just too. I don't know. It doesn't connect with me.
Dense.
And then I try to listen to him talk.
And it's like,
Who is he? A self-help guy or something?
play that video of him. Let me go to it. It'll be like this.
Yeah, he wrote The Power of Now.
So it sounds
He's
like Robert
a
F. Kennedy. I can't
self-help
listen to
No,
him.
Robert F. Kennedy is a different. Like that's a damage. This is just a.
Inside yourself, take one step back.
Oh man, nailed it.
Take one back step from yourself.
Who could listen to that?
Everyone, people like get better
Right.
because of that voice. Okay. Then I have I often have a lot of people who I've talked about this before, disfigured people who are
Mm.
gravely obese, and who are living with like bodies that make them very noticeable in public and maybe feel shame, but they're really outspoken about it. So like I have really people who are horribly disfigured or really, really obese talking about like, I love myself. So I have a lot of that, which I
Right.
think is good.
So who else besides Seth Rogen do you have? Boom! Slam Seth Rogen for no reason there.
That's a funny choice for that one. Yeah.
I know, I
We're
was
horribly disfigured. No, that was a safe one because you don't want to pick someone who actually is ugly.
No. He's doing fine.
I have Holly Madison talking about probably Hugh Hefner raping her. I have and then I have a lot of glute workouts. That is
Oh, yeah.
not that it looks like I'm
That's
a pervy
interesting.
dude because it's all women and their glutes.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Do you watch glute workouts on Instagram?
tons.
Wow, that's
And
isn't
do
it
I do
not
them?
long enough?
No. What do you
It's
mean?
like a preview of because it's only like a preview or a highlight of a glute workout.
No,
whereas
it's
if
just
you're
like this
watching them on
mean
YouTube-
Irish woman yelling at me about like, if this is the way you're doing your glutes,
Oh,
you're not on the
okay.
right track. You girls are wasting your time in the gym. If you're not
Yeah.
doing a lean forward, what are you even doing? And she does not sound like that, but she is really aggressive and really mean, and I love her because she just like yells at you about thinking you're cool at the gym.
Uh-huh.
And I've become obsessed. We'll talk about it in a second. I've become literally my new obsession is fixing my pelvic tilt, which has a
Oh,
lot to
yeah.
do with my glutes.
You know what
I-
that is, Brian?
Oh yeah, I know about pelvic tilt.
Yeah.
You do?
Well, I had chronic pelvic pain for 6 years, so I know everything you can do with a pelvis.
What kind of pelvic tilt did you have?
I don't know. I just know about
Anterior or
Or
posterior?
posterior.
Oh, I don't know. I just know an exercise, several pelvic tilt exercises I have done in the past.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
need to know what tilt you have because my dad and I got it from my dada.
It's my fault.
We have posterior pelvic tilt. No, it's not our fault. I don't have any pain from it. Let me be very clear. Posterior pelvic tilt. It's when your pelvis, if your pelvis is neutral, it's just like this. If you're watching the video, right? It's
Mhm.
like a board is just floating neutrally in the air. And if you have posterior pelvic tilt, that means that board goes like this, and
Yeah.
your glutes tuck under, and it tips forward. Or no, that's anterior.
You have
Posterior
anterior.
is back. So if your hips are like a bucket of water, there's water spilling out of your back because your pelvis is tilted
and that
back.
makes your butt look smaller.
It makes your butt look so small. So this is seriously changed my life because my whole life I've been like, I know I don't have no butt, but for some reason when I do have a butt, it never shows up. And why do some girls have like such a small butt, but you can still see it? There's their back and then it goes whoop and there's a slope and then their butt. It's because they have anterior pelvic tilt, which is what most people are trying to alleviate. Posterior pelvic tilt is the other one, and it makes your butt go under and it makes you look like a banana because your hips are going forward. And your butt is tucked in, and I am on a mission to reverse my posterior pelvic tilt, which I have had my entire life because we saw videos from my childhood.
You saw the tilt as a young girl
this weekend, and I had it at 11.
tilted.
Can you achieve that though? That's really doable.
It's going to be so difficult, and it is an hour of added stretching and rolling out and concentrated strength training.
Who told you could do this?
Me.
Really?
Eckhart
Yeah.
Tolle told her.
He said, if you want to achieve it,
He said
tilt is
he
possible
would just
to
say,
change.
don't even. No, pretty much everyone told me that it's not going to be possible, like all my teachers and stuff. But
Fuck
I've
them.
become like obsessed with Tom Brady because of the rolling out
Hell
and
yeah.
because of the stretching
Pliability.
and pliability method that he's obsessed
TB12.
with. And TB12 also has posterior pelvic tilt.
So TB12, is there a book out that shows
Yes,
this?
there is a book, and I got it, and I'm reading it religiously and poring over every word. I'm obsessed with Tom Brady.
Have you done it, Brian,
He is
too?
not an athlete. Oh, Brian, don't even. He's going to get his copy. I got mine too. It's a gigantic book. It is a Bible. It's a textbook. Oh, he's getting his
He's getting
foam
his
roller.
foam roller.
I have mine with me too.
Yeah.
Mine's a half one.
So a
Are
lot
you
of
using
rolling
it?
of muscles and stretching. Is
Yeah, I can't.
I've got
I
his
literally
vibrating
cannot.
rod.
Yeah. Okay. So because I'm fixing this posterior pelvic tilt, I always have to be aware of what my pelvis is doing.
Wow.
And in order to keep my pelvis in the right position, I always have to be thinking about it. It's not something that I can let go of. Like, you have to be focused because I will always go back to tipping
So you
backward.
just walk with your butt sticking out.
Yeah, kind of, but it's very hard to maintain that when you're doing a 30-minute workout on a treadmill where you're like trying to actually exert yourself in other ways. So I went from doing a really intense workout, 30 minutes, walking on an incline, running on an incline, so brutal, so good, and now I walk at a gingerly 3 miles per hour at a very small incline because I have to keep this posterior pelvic tilt. It has slowed down everything. All of my Pilates is now like, I look like the biggest beginner because I will not do any exercise in which my pelvis is not in the right spot, and it's so hard to keep it there.
So now your stomach will stick out.
Well, that's what they say, but if you tone your abs right, it will not stick out because if you don't have a pooch. It won't stick out. And I'd rather have it stick out.
Puka.
I love that duck walk where girls just have that butt sloping off and like the belly in the front. I like that look. I want that look.
Nothing
but how
hotter
did you
than a
find out
duck.
about TB? Because I remember you talking to me about Tom Brady's workout over
Well, when
the
I was
summer, I
diagnosed with that heart condition, I was told I can no longer lift heavy weights. And so I went on a search for a resistance bands workout. And it just so happened to coincide with when TB12 came out. And so I got
2017.
Yeah, and so I got all the resistance band stuff. Well, actually, it was a little bit after that. So I got the resistance band stuff in like 2019, and then if you recall, the next year COVID happened, and all that COVID happened in 2020, and the gyms closed, so you couldn't go to the gym anymore, and then there was a run on things like resistance bands.
Right.
And you couldn't get them. They were all this backlog supply chain
Oh my
bullshit.
God.
But I already had all the TB12 stuff at home, and I had canceled my gym membership because of the heart condition.
Wow.
So TB12 saved me from being able to work out throughout COVID
So-
with all my stuff.
How much? I haven't gotten way into the book, but I'm familiar with, like, he talks about pliability more than, like,
He's
before
obsessed.
him, he became obsessed. He met this body mechanics guy named Alex
Giselle.
something. Yeah. And he taught him about this really important part of athletic healing and
Stretching.
training, which is pliability. Like, you got to get into the muscles and like mash them up and make them gummy so that they're able to stretch, and then they're able to be pliable so that the tendon that might have the injury on it is not being pulled. All the other muscles are stretched out so that tendon isn't being pulled by those muscles around it. So he does this method. Like, I was watching this video last night of him with his other teammates, and he's trying to get them on board with it, and they're all just like, whatever, man. He's like getting rubbed out and massaged, and I'm just like, Why would they not trust Tom Brady, a
Yeah.
person that went in and was the 199th pick, 6th round draft pick,
Hell
had
yeah.
no business ever becoming the Tom Brady we know, has no, like not a natural athletic build, didn't have really any natural talents
Well-
that people were like, these are, I mean, he has natural talents, but he doesn't have, he's tall, but he
He's
doesn't
like
have the build.
6'4".
Yeah, but he's tall, but he does not, if you look at his draft report,
Yeah.
it's abysmal in terms
He-
of describing his body.
Yeah, no, they really ripped into his body. It was like
Weak
a middle school
arm.
girl describing
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You know who else is the athlete
It
that
totally
that-
was
that
bullying.
did all that, like Djokovic, who's getting old, and
Yeah.
he is a big proponent of flexibility.
Yes,
and has some
calisthenics.
instructor from his home country. I guess it's he's from Sarajevo or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, but this woman has been his mentor for 30 years, and
Yeah.
it's all about stretching and how flexible he is. And now
Flexibility is
he's
huge.
Yeah.
There's this
Yeah.
amazing video of Patrick Mahomes' trainer where he was tackled during the playoffs in a really awkward way where he got bent over kind of like a crab walk. You know what I'm talking
Uh-huh.
about? Like his back, like his hands
whoa.
are protruded and he's on it, like basically doing a crab walk. And he was tackled and pushed that way forcefully. And he just like hopped up and he was fine. So then his trainer posted a video on Instagram being like, the reason why Patrick Mahomes didn't get hurt on that play is because of this. And then he showed a supercut of Patrick Mahomes practicing that stretch over
Oh my
and
God.
over again
Yeah.
for like
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what Tom does is like he practices like, you know, when you're lifting weights, like how often are you lifting things like this in your life? Or
Yeah.
like this, hugging
gotta
a
do
tree. We do this in
practical.
Pilates all the time. You have to do actual movements that your body really does.
Yes.
But
yeah.
do you roll out, Brian?
Not as much as I should, but I
Rolling out is fucking next level, dude. Chris has been obsessed with rolling out for so long, and I just have to watch him roll out for like 40 minutes. Like we'll just be watching TV, and he's rolling out
That's
with a
great.
ball. He has
Do
so
it while
many
you're
balls.
watching TV.
He could do like a project, a 6th grade project of the planets with all the balls he has in this bag, the different sizes. I swear
Yeah.
to God, and a diorama. And I'm rolling out right now. I have one underneath my thigh because
Oh.
you should always be rolling out. Like I love holding
Well.
it in a place. And sometimes, I'm not kidding you. Like if you are a sober person and you want to trip a little bit, hold on to a pressure point around your hips or something lay on a ball. Breathe and then become dead weight. Like you don't realize that you're tensed up so much because it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
But if you really breathe and let it go and become dead weight and let that ball get into that area, you will see stars and be transported into that solar system that Chris Cantin has in that bag. I swear to God, I was in Pilates yesterday and there was one stretch I did that I was just like, and I was just like, hold on, I have to hold it. And I might have held it for like, it was probably 7 seconds longer. But it felt, I was seeing things.
And this
I
is
was
just rolling out on a foam roller, just rolling your
like
muscles.
balls. Like
No balls. Okay.
I lay on my
or the
side
rod.
like this.
You can use the
or
vibrating
the
rod.
roller. Yeah, or that vibrates.
That vibrates, really?
Yeah, see, I don't agree with the
that's
vibrating
good.
aspect of it. Though.
I don't
feel
think
like
I need that either.
I feel like the vibrating aspect is going to, in the future, be revealed to be bad for you. Sort of like how LaCroix is going to give you some kind of problem.
Yeah, that would have been revealed by now. But
No,
But
well,
Dad,
they
you
just
should
did
do-
it for Vitamin Water Zero for the sugar they put in Vitamin Water Zero. They said,
but
oh,
that's always been bad, right? It's,
no, they thought that
it's
aspartame was
phenylalanine.
bad, and now
Okay.
they're like, oh, by the way,
Splenda.
stevia, I guess is what
What?
they sort of like stevia. Is they now there's all these studies that are like, don't drink Gatorade Zero, don't drink Vitamin Water Zero, because that sugar is also going to give you cancer, and it's like,
Anya wrote me about an AT&T leak. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
That they
Oh,
got
no.
they got hacked, and I go, what am I supposed to do? Like erase my text now? That could be incriminating.
Well,
Like,
AT&T is going to provide everybody with software to prevent
Class
people from
action
hacking.
lawsuit,
thanks.
baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then isn't that like we all get 19 cents when it's said and done or something?
Well, do you
like,
have AT&T?
depends.
Yeah.
For AT&T.
For what?
family
For-
plan with Lauren and Matt?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
thought-
Oh.
So
Don't
Anya
leak
said
your
I
own
have to change
data.
my passwords. I can't choose another password for Christ's sake. Like I can't remember all this shit.
Do a passphrase. Yours should be easy. You should
Really?
just do a
Do a ta-
passphrase. Do a
Okay.
all you
Taylor
have to
Swift
do.
lyric.
Think of a
Okay,
Taylor
wait, can't do
Swift
that.
lyric. Think of a
And then
Taylor
make
Swift
it-
lyric.
Okay.
The first letter of each word is your password. So if the Taylor Swift lyric is
That's good.
yeah, and then just to give yourself symbols.
Or it was good until we talked about it on a live podcast. It's
Choose a
good
lyric
idea.
with a
but-
number in it and pick a symbol to put on either end or in the middle of it, just like an exclamation point.
My
an
joke
asterisk.
used to be I'm tired of coming up with new passwords because it's always like you have to have your dead dog's name and then you have to be excited about it because you have to put an exclamation mark. Just be like, Speedo! Like, you have to be excited about all your dead animals. Or Speedo? Is that you? 2 question
Yeah,
marks.
should be question mark.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I can't do anything with that. When she alerted me of that, I was just like, can I not care? Is this one that I can just sit out and not be like, honey, we need to change everything? Can I just like let me be hacked?
I know there are like 70 million people that are hacked.
73 million, yeah, something like that.
Ridiculous.
People get hacked like every week. I feel like this has happened recently.
I know. I guess I should just like stop sending nudes
On
There's a
anything
password.
important, just
or
do-
send more. So because now this is the time. They're
There's a
gonna get 'em.
password that I use, and I still use it on some things, but it says this password's been breached. You shouldn't use this anymore. And I still
Oh
use
yeah, that happens
Oh, it'll
all
tell
the
you
time.
that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I've got lots of breach passwords. But all you have to do is on all of your important things, just make 2-factor authentication and you should
Right.
be okay. So like if you on your
That's
Instagram
not that
account, you
good,
should
though.
set that up. What?
You know why that sucks? Is because if you lose your phone, you're fucked. Because everything gets sent to your phone. So if you go to your laptop to be like, okay, I'll get in my email on my laptop. We sent a code to your phone. Well, that phone is with someone in South St. Louis now.
Yeah.
Because it got ripped out of my hands and it's been 20 minutes. and so
Sure,
they're
sure.
probably gone
Well,
down
that
too
goes,
so I'm
you
gonna
go
find out.
that you bring that to the cloud. You know they can't open
But
your
that
phone. 'cause
two-factor
they're-
the two whatever
Two-factor authentication.
it's always sending to your
authentication.
phone. What are you supposed to do if you lose your phone? Everything gets sent to your phone.
Well, your phone should be backed up on the cloud, and then if you get a new phone,
It's
you
not
should-
because speaking of fucking TB, I just bought like 30 more terabytes of storage on the cloud because I just don't even know what to do. They just every so often your cloud is full. What do?
Wow.
Spend $30 more a month for more terabytes. Do I need any of the stuff I have?
Why
No,
is your
but
cloud
I
so
don't.
full?
I don't know because I don't.
That's-
I'm not a
can't-
boy who
can't be
has
that full.
computer head. I don't know how to.
What is
I don't know
on
how
your
to get
phone?
around.
Is
I
it
don't know.
Aside
videos?
from pictures and videos, it probably automatically
I play a lot
updates.
of guitar and take videos for like 10 minutes at a time. So I bet it's just like really long videos of me playing music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that.
delete some.
I do go through every so often, but then it's usually when it starts going like it's full, you're going to have to upgrade. No matter how much you delete, you're always getting that alert soon after again. Like once it starts coming, I think people will relate to what I'm saying. You can't escape it. It is like you can push it off, but that Jehovah's Witness is just going around the block and it's going to be at your door again saying you're full of storage. Delete
Yeah.
more videos. And then you start deleting videos of your niece that you'll never get back. And you know, like that's when I just go, I can't. I guess I'm just going to pay $30 more a month to Google for the rest of my life. But I mean, when
know.
will I ever catch this charge?
$30 a month seems like a lot.
Yeah, because the options are 2 terabytes or 10. So there's no 5 terabyte range. There's no 6. You either pay
I pay
That's weird.
$5.
15 bucks a month. I pay 15
What do
bucks
you pay?
now.
What do you pay,
And now I'm
Brian?
going
I
to pay
pay
30.
$2.99 for the cloud for Apple.
Yeah. Well, now I'm
$2.99.
paying 30 a month because I had to
That's
go up to
that's
10
not normal.
terabytes. So if
Don't-
anyone wants to
You do not
store a
need
bunch of
10
child
terabytes.
porn, I mean, what? The only thing I hear terabyte is when I'm hearing about reports of child porn.
Yeah.
I've never heard of terabyte in any other context until I got this email. So I'm like, I guess I'm on the dark web
You're
or
on the
something
dark web.
downloading terabytes of stuff. What could this
That's a
be?
lot.
And by the way, my phone can't hold 30 terabytes. So this cloud thing is an illusion.
Yeah.
Every time I try to ever
Literally.
watch a video on any of my stuff, it always has to, it doesn't load.
Yes,
Because
you
if
access
it's too
the
far
cloud.
back, if it's more than a year back, it just loads all day.
They
And
got
it's
you.
useless to me.
You're hooked. There's
I'm
nothing you can
hooked.
do anymore.
And
You're
I'm not
done. It's
getting
like
rid of
having
that
high
charge.
cholesterol. It's like no matter how much
Oh, is that
fake
the same
butter
way?
you eat, it's never going to go down now that you're up that high.
Oh, God.
You're stuck. You're in the clouds.
Yep.
I just yeah. You
Just
sometimes
keep paying.
you buy
10
an app or
terabytes
something.
is so much, though, Nikki.
It's
That's
It
so
is.
much.
I know it's
That's like,
so
you know,
much.
Microsoft has 10 terabytes on their entire server.
I
think
know.
the Pentagon has
Microsoft has
fewer.
outsourced their
$30
terabytes to
a
some other
month.
company to get your
But I'm
guitar
tired of
videos
seeing
saved.
that fucking thing pop up, and I'm tired of deleting things that I might need. Like I accidentally deleted one of my guitar videos I remembered was a song that I had written, and I had put
Oh,
nowhere
no.
else. So now I'm just putting my songs in my voice memos. I'm not filming them anymore. I'm only just filming practices.
Good idea.
It's just like you just can't fucking win. And by the way, I'm not going through any of this footage. I have like 3 printed pictures in my entire house. I rarely go through my photos. If it ever happens, it's because my phone has decided to remind me of a memory when I was younger and hotter on a day where my period's about to start, and I don't really need to see that shit. It's just a year ago. Do you ever get the year ago
All the time.
message? This is what you looked like, and this is how happy you were, or whatever you were doing a year ago. And
For me, it's always like, here's you when you were in the woods. And I'm like, oh,
it's
thank
just a
you.
montage of you, like it's called "In the Woods." They
Yeah.
like name it that.
among the trees.
Yeah,
It's like well, the same thing that would happen if I was missing.
I speaking of "In the Woods" or like I was gonna say "Stick Season." There's a song I love called "Stick Season," and by Noah Kahan, and I became obsessed with it. I think last year, but it's a huge song. Hit song. I played it for you before, Dad.
He's really good. I saw him
He's
on Austin City
amazing.
Limits.
Oh, you liked
recently.
him? Yeah, he's so good. But he blew up because of that song on TikTok. And I was listening to this podcast that I discovered this weekend. I had heard about it before, and I think they have a TV show too. It's called Song Exploder. And they just talk to bands about one song. It's like a 20-minute podcast to talk to the artist about how this song came to be and the process behind recording it and making it. And he was talking about that one. And he was in LA recording like a popish kind of album, which he's been trying to do since he got a record deal right out of high school, and it didn't go as planned. And he's from Vermont. He was out in LA putting the final touches on this album that he was not feeling good about. It wasn't like his authentic sound that he like wanted to sound like. And he was feeling really lonely, and I like him as an artist because in his music he talks a lot about being depressed and like anxious and wanting approval. It's just very honest stuff. And he was saying that he was like feeling. Oh, I'll finish the story when I get back. So Noah Kahan's talking about what this song that was like one of the best. He was nominated for Song of the Year at the Grammys this year. He didn't win, but it was definitely worthy of a nomination. And he was wanting to get some attention on TikTok because he was feeling lonely in his Airbnb in LA, and he just wrote the verse to the song. And then he put it on TikTok, and it was just the first verse, not even a chorus. And then he went to bed, and he was like kind of scrolling and looking at it, and like it's getting barely anything. And he's like, I'm such a loser. Like this is a verse about being a loser because I wanted to be honest about how I'm feeling. And now it's like not even doing anything. And then he went to bed, and he woke up in the morning, and it was like had 500 comments, which was like a ton for him, for anyone. And then it just blew up after that. And everyone's like, we want the chorus. Just give us the whole song. And he's like, I don't even have a whole song. This was just like a little ditty thing. So he's like, okay, fuck, I have to like write the rest of it. So then he wrote the chorus, and then he put that out, and they were like, we love this. And he's like, oh God, now I have to write a second verse and a bridge. And so it was just because of putting it out there, he had to finish it because people were demanding it and thinking that there was more to be that he was holding something back, but he hadn't even written it.
Well,
so I thought that was really interesting.
So if you put something on Instagram like that, couldn't somebody just steal that song from him and say, I wrote this?
yeah, but then it would be archived as him having had it.
People have done that with my cartoons. I had my Big Al Ford F-150 video someone shared on Reddit, and it was on the front page of Reddit. It was the #1 thing on Reddit for like a day, and they didn't tag me. No one knew it was mine. It got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of
Wow.
likes.
Damn
So rude.
And then people in the
Bullshit.
comments were like, we need to tag this person. This is Brian Frangi's video, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
cool.
and then a lot of people like in solidarity subscribed to me on YouTube because I was fucked over. But like
It happens all the time.
1% of the people follow me on YouTube that would have.
Yeah,
If
had
I
it
was
been properly
tagged.
tagged.
Too
Yeah.
bad.
Well, it wasn't stolen. I mean, it was absolutely stolen in terms of that person got a lot of upvotes on their account, but no one, and maybe people did think that person had posted it, but
What do upvotes do for you
it just
on your
Gives
account?
you karma.
It goes back to your
On
account.
Reddit?
Yeah, like if you post something and get upvotes, or if your
Okay.
comment gets upvotes, you just get it's meaningless. It's kind of a joke.
Just like likes on Instagram or
It's
something.
exactly. It's just like likes. It's yeah,
But it all builds towards you having a bigger following.
yeah. And
Like, if you're
upvotes help
posting-
create what is popular on Reddit. So I upvote things all the time to be like,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
voting.
just moves them up in the hierarchy.
Yeah, you're pretty much voting of like what you think is cool and
It's
encouraging.
just
Yeah, I do
social
too.
media capital, which is intrinsically worthless, but ultimately leads to real life things.
Yes.
Understood.
Yeah. So I guess there was another song exploder I listened to of the song I'm currently obsessed with called "The Birthday Party" by the 1975, and I really liked. I found it from Reddit. Actually, I found this song. So, I Reddit suggests threads to look at, and 1975 is always one that they're just showing me random. I don't listen to the 1975 a lot. I obviously knew Matt Healy dated Taylor Swift, and I like some of their songs, but there was this one that was like, "What's your favorite 1975 lyric?" And I always read those posts because I like lyrics. And one of them was like, I thought I was in hell in a boring conversation with a girl named Mel about her friend in Cincinnati named Maddie as well. And it was just cool because it was like Maddie, Natty as well. And it was just a cool rhyming scheme. And I was like, oh, that sounds like an interesting lyric. And it's the song called "The Birthday Party." It's just about these mundane conversations and like that he's having with people at this birthday party. And one of them is like he runs into his friend and they were like, he tells Maddie being the guy from the band, he's like, "Oh yeah, my friends were going to go to your Pine Grove show, but they didn't know about all the weird shit, so they just left." And like I relate to that because people tell me rude things about people coming to my shows all the time. They'll be like, "Oh my God, I was sitting next to this person who hated you. They left halfway through the show. That was my favorite part of the show is watching these people leave." And I'm just like, that was your favorite part of the show? Why did you even tell me that?
Yeah, we don't need to hear
So
that.
I liked that lyric too, but he said this really interesting thing in the Song Exploder episode about writing that song in particular is that if he writes a lyric that makes him go like, ugh, like cringe and go like, "Oh my God, that's so lame," then he has to keep it in because he can't change any lyric to preserve his ego, which I really like. So there's this one lyric that says, he goes, "Can we go somewhere I'll be recognized?" Essentially, it's not the lyric exactly, but he's like, "Hey, I'm feeling depressed. Can we go somewhere where people know who I am?" And he left that in. You could tell that was like a placeholder, but he probably left it in because he's like, I can't take it out because if I take it out, I'm protecting me being desperate for attention, which is the true thing. And I thought that was I just like artists being like, yeah, I like that. No, you just scoffed at that. You don't like when people
No,
take
I was
something out?
I was just reading Jeff Tweedy's book, How to Write One Song, and he talks about if you're struggling with lyrics, just mumble something. And he says, invariably, I leave the mumbles in all the time. And that's where you get a lot of the nonsensical lyrics.
That's how everyone writes, I've
Yeah,
learned. When
yeah.
I've been studying is that they come up with a thing and they're like, well, and I got stuck in a bell. Like it just comes out from mumbling.
right.
Which is I
And
would
you can-
never have thought
you-
how people
You can refine
write.
some of it, but some of it you just leave in and say, what the
Yeah,
hell?
because a word will just come out that you're like, oh, that just fits perfectly, and it just comes
I
out of
know.
nowhere.
I can
But
relate to getting stuck in a bell too, so hard.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine that could
diving
be
bell?
yeah. That could be a metaphoric thing of being stuck in a bell. It's like clanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really paints a picture. But yeah, I think that's a good thing to do is that if you want to take something out or if you want to like not say something because it'll make you look stupid. Nope, you got to keep it in. I think that's a cool rule for an artist.
It's a crazy
Scary, though.
artistic rule. Yeah, it really is.
Well, it honestly makes him look foolish sometimes, and he is like a really vulnerable performer, and I think that's why I'm becoming kind of obsessed with the 1975.
I've never heard of them. 1970. It's a band.
Yeah, every song
Right.
they have sounds different, which I think is actually really
Cool.
cool too. It's like you can't really pin a sound on them.
Mm.
If there are any besties that are 1975 fans, I'm going song by song. I'm becoming obsessed with each song as I go. I can't really take on a whole bunch, but if you like if I like Change of Heart, Birthday Party, The City, and Girls, what's the next song I should listen to? That's what I want to know. Final thought, Dad. Do you have any recent obsessions?
Wait a minute.
Any-
Can I kindly interrupt Mr. Glaser? Before we got started on the podcast, you were going to tell me about a certain autographed item that you have. We never got
Yeah,
to
well, I
the
was on a
story.
plane. I was flying to we were lucky enough to go to the Cannes Film Festival for a few years. The independent film channel used to take us over there. So we were flying first class over to Nice, France. And we're in the Ambassador Lounge in LaGuardia. And we see Ringo walk by. And we're like, there's Ringo Starr. And it's
My
like,
dad's a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
Like the biggest.
And then
you'll
we
know.
saw Ivana Trump
dad
walk
too.
by, and so we got on the plane, and I walked by the plane, and Ringo is sitting 2 seats in front of me, in first class service. And so I thought it ruined my whole flight. It's a 9-hour flight. My heart was like palpitating. I'm sitting there like, okay, when Ringo goes to the bathroom, I've got to. I'm not a person to bug celebrities. But I thought when Ringo goes to the bathroom, I've got to go up and stand in line. So when he comes out, I'll see him. And so I was sitting there planning the whole time. They're serving wine, they're serving, hot towels on your face and all this beautiful service. And I was just kind of not even enjoying any of it. and then because I wanted to get Ringo, and he never surfaced. So then the flight ensued.
God,
and
this guy knows how to hold his pee, so he's not bothered.
so I found out subsequently, and I'll tell the story first, but so my big chance was after they serve the meal and they watch the movies and everything, the lights go, the pilot says, okay, we're going to turn the lights off now so everybody can get some shut-eye before we land in Nice. And it's like 2 hours away from Nice. And so right when the lights went out, if you know the Beatles' White Album, Ringo at the very end of the John Lennon song called Good Night, Ringo says, good night, everybody, everywhere, good night.
Oh, that would have been so,
And so-
good for you to say.
That's what I said.
You did?
So as soon as the lights went out and the pilot said that, I went, good night, everybody, everywhere, good night. And the whole plane erupted in laughter, my section. And I thought Ringo would at least look up and look back at me.
Well,
I got nothing. So the
Damn.
stewardess came over.
Headphones.
The stewardess came over and I said, hey, so what happened? Where's Ringo? She said, he took a drug. He's knocked out. He has headphones on and he has a sleep visor on. And he's been knocked out the whole
He's
flight.
doing a Nikki Glaser impression.
yeah, he's pulling a Nikki.
Exactly. So no, he didn't get to see it. So anyway, we landed
Oh
in
my God! Wait, how did it just occur to you today that when the lights went off, or were you like, I will do?
just came to me.
Okay.
Because it was,
Big fan.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. But anyway, so we landed in Nice, after the flight. It's 6 a.m. there. Everybody's totally tired. It's 2:00 a.m. our time or whatever. And Ringo and Ivana Trump are standing there right in front of the baggage thing where the baggage is coming up. We're all waiting. And a friend of mine was with us, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask for an autograph. So he said, I'll go get one for you. And he's kind of a goof. He was saying, was Ringo a drummer? And I'm like, yeah, get out of here.
Oh God, you said that guy?
That was rough. So he walked over and said, hey, my friend really wants an autograph. And so
Oh, humiliating. That's
And so
worse than
Ringo-
asking yourself.
Ringo gave him an autograph, and he said, would you personalize it? And Ringo said, I don't personalize. And he said, he'd really like it. And Ringo said, do you want the autograph or not?
Yes.
And I think that was the death knell for Ringo saying,
No more autographs.
I'll never give another autograph.
Because soon
the rest-
after he said no
He did.
more peace and love, no
it
more
was
autographs.
shortly thereafter. But anyway,
Yeah, one of the last ones.
the weird thing was we're all waiting for our baggage. Everybody wants to get the hell out of there. And of course, Ringo's bag came out first. Ivana Trump's bag came out first. They both exit the airport, and we're sitting there for another 20 minutes waiting for our bags. So
Right.
celebrities get that kind of treatment. It was pretty cool to see.
Well, if you, that fucking dick, I hate when people get an attitude when they're already asking for something for free and
Right.
inconveniencing this person. I swear to God, at our meet and greets, my biggest pet peeve, I only have really one. And, aside from people grabbing my ass when they shouldn't, or like grazing it when they know
When they
what they're doing.
shouldn't? When should they?
Good question, Brian.
That's a good
They're
point.
dating.
Every 10th person gets to grab her ass. That's
No,
a new
sometimes
rule.
if a girl asks, like, can I do? No, I would never really want anyone to grab my ass because I'm still working on my pelvic tilt. But
Yeah.
it's hard to find. You have
That
to
could
go
be your
digging in that
excuse
bin.
now. No, I would, but I'm working my pelvic tilt.
Well, that's
so.
when anyone does grab my ass. I know it's actually not by accident. Like, oh, I just touched it, because it's like you gotta go looking for it. It's like you gotta press it
dig
hard.
under.
Yeah, you have to go under.
So what's your biggest pet peeve?
So my
would
biggest
be-
pet peeve is when Matt is my tour manager, taking these people's cameras to take photos, and he does a good job. And it's always a girl. No offense, girls, but what the fuck? I know you have a good side, and I know you like the picture be taken from above. Just say it politely. Hey, do you mind if you do a higher angle? That would be so great. Thank you so much. That's how you ask for that. Not, higher angle, please. higher angle. Is this guy new? Has he never photographed a woman before?
Wow.
And then grabs it from him, looks at it and goes, no, not even. And then hands it back and like,
Oh,
gets,
God.
this is I'm not
Wretched.
kidding you. It's a common
That really
thing that
happens a lot.
I would say twice every meet and greet. There is a woman. It's never been a man. I would say it was a man if it's ever been a man, but men do not care about pictures.
We don't have good sides.
Yeah. Inside your wallet.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
that's all you're good for. Because you make more than us. Okay. So, but yeah, there's always a woman that's like one or two women that goes, this is horrible looking. Or we need to do this again. And no, please, no,
Sucks.
thank you. And I will say, sorry, I'm sure besties, it's 100% of you say thank you after you get your phone back from Matt. But I would say 90% of people do not say thank you to Matt when he hands back their phone after he takes a picture. And it's like, do you think this person works for you? Do you think this person, they work for me? And but like, just say, do you not say thank you to people when they bring your food or
They're
take
so
your order?
starstruck. Maybe they're just excited and they just forget.
Also, it's
That
rushed.
I will give them.
It's time limited.
And
Yeah,
I don't
people start
understand.
acting
Like, it's
crazy
fine
when
if
that
you don't say
happens.
thank you. It literally is fine because you're kind of being rushed. You have to go get your coat.
Right.
I totally
They're
understand it.
nervous.
But when you are not nervous and you don't say thank you, because these are always people I'm clocking that are very comfortable in this environment and like to come up to me and be like, I just want to have like a moment with you. Like, this is not that big of a deal to me. Like, I just want to, we don't even need the picture. Like, I just want to like hang, like have a real moment. There's always that's men. Men will do that to like make me, I think, go like, really? Like, you want to get to know me? Oh my God, you're so different than the other men. Most men want to take a picture.
I like
but you want to
you.
just have a conversation with me that wastes more of my time
Can
when
we
I'm
meet?
hungry and I've been on stage already for an hour and a half in heels. And now I'm out here taking a picture. And you're the last person in line and you purposely were the last person because you wanted to get that extra time with me because somehow it's a gift to
All
me
right, calm
that
down.
you're
They
here.
paid good money to do it. so.
No, they did not. They did not pay money to take up 10 minutes of my time at the very end of the line. I'm talking to a very specific man. Don't defend men who are trying to creep on me. That's so rude. I am talking about a specific man who waits and lets people go in front of him so that they can have extra time at the end. It happens probably once every 5 shows. A man tries to wait till the end because they know it'll be there's not someone after them. They're being courteous because they want more time.
Yeah.
And then they
They think
act
they
like
can ask you
you're-
out on a date afterwards or something?
well, that has happened, and I don't mind that because that's fine. But like, if you're trying to finagle for more time, you're not being respectful of my time because a meet and greet isn't a 10-minute conversation. It could be if you're a girl who's crying and telling me that I helped you with your eating disorder or whatever it is, and like we have a moment. Of course, I'll grant you that time. But if you're just a guy who feels entitled to my time and you're not really a fan of stand-up comedy, you just like female comics. I see who you follow. I see the messages. Like, you just like female comics. And not because we have like a different brand of comedy, but because we are more accessible to you than models and pop stars because we are more desperate for fans.
You feel more.
And
accessible.
because we give you more, we talk to you intimately in a podcast setting. You're never going to be my boyfriend, and I don't feel closer to you. And this is not to say that people that listen to this podcast would not be my friend, because you 100% would, but this, and I am not talking to 99.99% of people listening to this podcast right now. It is just, I'm done with that creep guy. I'm done with him. I really can't do it anymore. It's going to ruin the meet and greet for me. Because it's
Well,
been
just put it on
happening.
the website. No creep, guys.
No
Well,
creeps.
And sometimes
there
they're
should
your
be a
biggest
CAPTCHA.
fan.
Make
When
They
you're
sure,
don't
signing
know.
up,
They don't know they're creeps.
tell
When
Matt
you're
to make sure the last person in line's a female all the time.
That's actually a good call. That's a really good call because it always is a man. I mean, Brian, we even had a great fan come out to a show recently
Yep.
who has been to many shows.
Mhm.
Amazing fan, has documentation, t-shirts, everything to prove that they've been to so many.
I don't
I
know
even
about
recognize
this.
them kind of. It's true. They have been to so many.
I don't know about what we're doing. We're talking about it.
Why?
I don't know.
got assaulted. He grabbed my ass.
Oh
and
my
I couldn't
God.
say anything about it because at that point we had already talked to them for 10 minutes
Yeah.
and been like, great to see you again. And then we go to the picture and he puts his hand on my ass. Not a grab,
That's bold.
but a firm hand on the
What'd you
ass.
do?
Like, Nothing. Because at that point, we've built up all this rapport and I just want to go be done. And if I were to say
knock
something,
his arm and just give him an elbow.
it just wasn't, I didn't think the picture would take that long and it ended up taking longer. So
Next
it was
time,
like,
elbow him right in the stomach.
no, because then he keels
Then it's a
over.
big thing.
Then his
And then he's
wife
got a
goes, "What's
story."
happened?" And then now his wife is like, "Wait, you grabbed her ass? Wait, what? I didn't know you were doing that kind of thing." And yes, I know this perpetuates it and makes men get away with this kind of behavior, but it's just not my job. I just want to go eat my dinner.
This is why the
Weird.
creepy CAPTCHA is perfect, because you don't have to know that you're a creep in order to fail the CAPTCHA. When you're signing up for VIP tickets to get the meet
Yeah.
and greet, there should be a CAPTCHA that you have to solve
Wait,
that proves you're not a creep.
okay. Instead of identifying stop signs or
Yes.
or motorcycles, it's women's boundaries.
Yes,
It's just
exactly.
like, which woman doesn't want to be touched right now? And it's just our different faces.
It's like there's a woman at the gym with headphones in on the treadmill, and it goes, touch the places where you should talk to, and then you just have to touch all the ones that aren't her.
Yes, just that is such a good idea. A creep CAPTCHA.
Yeah.
And let me say again, this is not most people. Do not come to my meet and greet thinking I am going to think you're one of these people. Even if you are a man going alone and you are a major fan and you do feel like we're friends, that can totally all be true and you are not a creep. So it's a problem because most creeps who think they're creeps are not. Here's how to know if you're a creep or that you're not a creep. If you think maybe you've creeped me out before, you're not a creep. Because creeps don't consider that.
No.
They really don't. When Me
That's
Too was
probably
going
true.
on, I had so many guy friends being like, I'm really worried that I might have Me Too'd someone back in. And I go, no, you didn't, because you're worried about it. Like,
Yeah.
Me Too men. And then I would hear men that have definitely done that being like, I haven't done anything. And I'm like,
Right.
you don't even think you have. So it's really one of these problems that the people that are worried to address it don't need to be
That's a
most
good
of the
point.
time.
At
All right,
the,
final thought.
God, can I say something?
Wait. Yeah.
So at the in Cincinnati, we did a show at the Hard Rock Casino, and afterwards, this is the whole family reunion.
Yeah, Glaser family
Afterwards,
reunion.
I went and played and gambled blackjack all night long.
Uh-huh.
I heard.
And it was cool because there were several people on the floor who came up to me throughout the night, even as late as like 2 a.m., and were like, "Hey, man, great show." And I was like,
Nice.
"Oh, cool." It's almost like
That's
I
awesome.
had a little bubble of celebrity on the casino floor because the people had seen the show in that casino.
That's great.
So that was fun. But there was this guy at the blackjack table who was. This is an example. It's not a creep, but it's the example of that mentality where you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He's getting defensive about even being accused of being something. He was at the table, and you're not allowed to take your phone out when you're playing blackjack because the casino thinks that you're using it to film the cards, and then you can use a computer to predict what card's going to come out next. And he kept taking his phone out, and the dealer was like, "You can't take your phone out. You can't take your phone out." And every time he's like, "Look," he said the same phrase over and over again.
God.
"I'm not trying to start any trouble. My mom was texting me happy birthday," like shit like that. And it's like, okay, I know you're not trying to start any trouble, but don't take your phone out. And then one hand later, he'd have his phone out again and be like, "No more phone out. You have your phone out." And he'd go, "I'm not trying to start any trouble." And it's like, bro, you literally are starting trouble. Just because you say, "I'm not trying to start any trouble," doesn't mean that you're not. It's like insane. And I feel like that's how creeps react.
That's a phrase.
when they're
I'm
being
not trying to start any
creeps.
trouble is definitely only said by someone who is absolutely starting trouble. That is
Yeah.
that's a total thing that's never, it's like saying like, not to be racist, but okay, then racist
Yeah.
thing follows. I don't want to start any trouble is always someone who's starting shit.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And that thing of like, and when drunk men just latch onto a phrase and say it over and over, it
Oh, yeah.
really is just so disgusting to me.
Yeah.
You reminded me of like when he was like, I'm texting my mom. Matt, my sister's husband, this weekend told us that one time he was arrested for public intoxication, like in college, and it was 2 a.m. And he was like on his phone, and the cop was like had already confronted him and was like, "Get out of the street." And he's like, "I'm talking to my grandma at 2 a.m. and he wasn't at all." And the cop like slammed the phone out of his hands. He's like, "Nana!"
And he broke his phone.
He broke
The
his
cop
phone.
broke his phone.
He was like,
Oh
I was
my
on the phone
God.
with my grandma. It's like, no, you weren't at 2 a.m. wasted in the streets of Lawrence, Kansas. All right, we got to go. Thank you, Dad, for being
Hey,
here.
my pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Love you.
you
Listen to the podcast tomorrow. We'll see you then. And don't be and bye.